guys. Okay. Not sure walking on with a carry bag's very rock and roll, is it? Listen, if I seem a little bit flustered tonight, there's a couple of reasons. I feel like I need to get this out of the way first, okay? The first one is I've been walking into a lot of fridges just lately, which has been, it's been a worrying time, not to mention quite painful, but I have been to the doctors, and it turns out I'm colourblind, so... And the other one is we were due to move this week, but we just found out our house has got a poltergeist, so everything's up in the air at the moment. Now, one or two of you might be wondering why I've walked onto stage with like a string of garlic around my neck. Yeah. I'm not superstitious. I'm not trying to ward off vampires, anything like that. It is simply a very enjoyable thing to do. Yeah. In fact, it's probably the most fun you can have with clothes on. What I'd like to do for the next 10 minutes though is just share a few little things about myself, if that's okay with you now. I am married, that's the first thing, okay, I am married. Now my wife's a very talented lady, she's good at a lot of different things, right? But she's a particularly good cook, right? But even I would not have believed that people would pay money online to watch my wife bake quiche. But how wrong can you be, because she's making a fortune on OnlyFans. Now, I love my wife, I do, and if the worst were to happen, I would want something to remember her by. So I said to her the other day, I said, listen, if you were to die unexpectedly, could I use your skin to make an armchair? But, no, she wouldn't be swayed. Now, I try and be a good husband, I really do, but guys, those of you that are married will know it's easy just not to listen, or you just get things wrong, or we don't just quite listen well enough. I was at home the other day, and I was in the living room, and I was like, if I could turn back time. And I went upstairs to the bedroom, and I was like, if you believe in life after love. Back down to the kitchen, gypsies, tramps and thieves. Now, is anybody ahead of me here? Because I'm quite happy. If you can work out the punchline for these jokes, I'm more than happy for you to shout it out, guys. Okay.
It's something all over the place.
Well, yeah. I'll tell you. Okay. So my wife heard all this going on, and she said, "Listen, John, when I said you need to do your share around the house, that is not what I meant." All marriages have their challenges, they definitely do, and my marriage has been no different, okay? Now, my marriage has been severely tested over the years by my obsessions with, number one, Subbuteo, and number two, sharks. Okay? But I've been very lucky, because my wife has stuck with me through thick and thin. Now, I have got two children as well, actually. And they're teenagers. And my daughter is 14 years old, and there's two things that she's really into. Okay, she's really into horse riding, and she's really into gymnastics. Yeah. Now, the horse riding I'm a little bit ambivalent about, because it's not the cheapest hobby. B, when you get up close, a horse is quite a big, dangerous, it seems like quite a dangerous hobby to me, yeah? She walked in the house the other day and she said, Dad, I don't want to worry you, but I've had an accident in my riding lesson. I said, were you booked off? She said, well, I wasn't happy, that's for sure. Now, the gymnastics I am happier about, yeah? And I have to say, the place that she goes to are so good, because I haven't paid for any lessons for ages, and yet I still get emails telling me she's got outstanding balance. She's clearly doing very well. A proud dad moment. Now, there's a few other things that I'd like to tell you about myself, but I couldn't really narrow it down. So what I've done, I've made a little visual aid. Okay, yeah. Now, if you don't enjoy these jokes, surely you can at least appreciate the quality of the colouring in. Because I clearly have not gone out of the line, outside the line. So, all of the words and phrases on this little board kind of relate to a little fact or something about me. I'm going to be happy in a minute. Perhaps I won't have time to do them all, but for you to shout them out, and I'm happy to share with you what they mean. Okay? So we've got hamsters, buffets, golf, flying saucer, cat, RAF, 3 saws, annoyed, crosswords, tampon. Sorry about that. Because as you can see, I'm not a rude comedian, am I at all? Okay? Is it helpful if I tell you my rudish joke so you just kind of know where the kind of the ceiling is?
Yeah.
Okay? Right. This is my rudish joke. I have it on very good authority. Okay, you said yes, so I kind of directed you. Was it you? Sorry. I have it on very good authority that there's a lady online, right, who for £50 will beat you across the bare bottom with a chocolate bar. Yeah? She's a dominatrix. So, you were expecting something worse, I could tell, weren't you? So it's a low bar. Right, so for example, if you were to choose hamster, which you might do, yeah, I would tell you that when I was a kid, I had a hamster and I named it Marilyn Monroe. Okay? Which is sweet. And you might be able to work out the reason for that, particularly if you know Marilyn Monroe's real name. Which you look like the kind of people that would carry that kind of information around. Does anybody know Marilyn Monroe?
No,
Right, okay. Yeah, quite right. So, yeah, quite easy then. My hamster was called Marilyn Monroe because it used to Norma Jeans. Right, so some of these are better than others, I will admit, okay? So I'm going to kind of try and subconsciously guide you towards the better ones. There's even one here, and you can see the A-team down there. The one underneath there has been kind of covered up, it's been dropped altogether. It's like the Phil Foden of this joke, but it was given multiple chances to deliver, but it hasn't, and so it's gone, unfortunately. Right, would anybody like to, Madam, would you like to choose one of the...
I'm the most intrigued about 3 saws.
Oh, okay, well that's fairly easy to explain. So many years ago I used to work in a factory, okay, yeah? And I managed to misplace a hacksaw, a jigsaw, and a chainsaw all on the same day. Which made me pretty unpopular, because no one likes a sore loser, do they? Anybody that don't mind, shout another one out?
Flying saucers.
Right, okay, flying saucer and do golf as well, yeah? Okay, people don't always like, I think this is quite good, but it gets a bit of a, Anyway, so flying saucer. Right, I was doing a little thing like this, I'll say it pretty quick. I was doing a little thing like this the other week, and after the gig, I got chatting to this lady, yeah? We've been chatting for a while, and eventually she said, listen, do you fancy being a flying saucer and docking with the mothership? And she winked and she said, do you fancy being a flying saucer and docking with the mothership? Which I'm pretty sure was a euphemism for something. Right, golf, again, okay, right. So I enjoy playing golf, but I can't drive straight, so I usually crash on the way to the course. That's okay. However, also on golf, I once made a golf ball, right, out of, the sweet fruit pastels. Yeah. So I squished a load of fruit pastels together to make a golf ball. Okay. Now it didn't go very far. It didn't go very far, but it was great for getting round trees. You must be a very polite audience. Someone has normally chosen tampon by now. That's normally one of the first ones, okay? Are you curious as to why tampon is on this board, anybody? Please say yes. Okay, so, unlikely as this may seem, yeah, I appreciate it does seem unlikely, one of my most prized possessions at home, yeah, is an antique tampon that my great-grandmother gave to me. Listen. Don't ask me what period it's from, because I don't know. That's not even the joke, okay? Apparently this tampon could be worth quite a lot of money, but I would never sell it because it's got too much sentimenstrual value. Right, at this point I completely lose track of how long I've been off for. Wig. Okay, yeah, okay. I'll try and condense this one slightly because it just can't go. Okay, I once bought a wig, right, that had previously belonged to Prince William. Okay? Now, by sheer misfortune, right, I was wearing this wig as I was driving along in the car one day, okay? Yeah. And the window was open, yeah? And a freak gust of wind. Don't forget the bit about Prince William. Because the joke goes on so long, you're probably right. And so a freak gust of wind blew the wig from my head and it landed in the footrail. Okay, yeah? Now I momentarily took my eyes off the road to retrieve the wig and I was seen by a police officer. Yeah? I was stopped and charged with... And please do not forget that the wig previously belonged to Prince William. Okay? I was charged with driving without due care and attention. Can I just do the 18 jokes? It kind of seems a bit unfair to kind of bring it in off the subs bench and then not to actually kind of do it. Is that okay? Yeah. So again, this relates to one of my jobs that I had in a former life. Okay. Yeah. And I once worked in the Mothercare factory. Okay. Don't forget that it was a Mothercare. which was fine. I enjoyed my job in the Mothercare factory until the day that George Peppard from the A-Team got a job in the same factory, okay? And then shortly after that, I had to leave because I got completely fed up of hearing him say, yeah, remember it was the Mothercare. What do you think George Peppard would have repeated this? Oh, people sometimes get this, okay? He said, I love it when a pram comes together. Right, now, am I okay for 2 more? Are you sure we get one? Now, I've just got a little thing here that I've only just started doing this, so it's a bit hit and miss, we'll see how we go, okay, right? And a little bit of audience participation, okay? So I'm going to say the first part of a joke, okay? I need people on this side of the room, okay, to shout out what is on the card that I'm going to hold up, if you can read it. And I want people on this side of the room to say the punchline. Now, the punchline is the same every time. It is simply, no, I swear it's true, okay? So I say the joke, you say what's on the card, and you say, no, I swear it's true. Okay? Right. What could go wrong? I'll do these. Right, okay. So, there's a convent just down the road from me, and the ladies that live there, yeah, have started making their own perfume.
Nonsense!
No, I swear it's true.
Okay, I tried archery for the first time recently, and the very first arrow that I fired hit the little yellow circle right in the middle of the target.
Shot. No, I swear it's true.
Now, again, unlikely as it may seem, I'm actually an expert in the feces of semi-aquatic mammals. Last one. the French game where you have to kind of throw the metal balls and you have to kind of land the balls near to the small. Okay, yeah. So I've got a scorecard for that game that once belonged to Louis XIV.
Oh, jeez!
No, I swear it's true.
And on that note, I will leave you.